Today's topic of discussion is display lists. This list playlist they illustrate how we can use clients and servers on a network to improve interactive graphics performance. So if you see the architecture, it contains the host, the display processor unit, and the display file. So the display processor, it has limited instruction set, most of which are oriented towards drawing primitives on the display. So the user program is processed in a host computer, which results in the compiled list of instructions. Now these instructions are then sent to the DPU, where instructions are stored in the display memory as the display file, or it is also called as the display list. So we can send graphical entities to a display in one of the two ways. The first method is called as the immediate method, which is the fundamental mode of operation. In this, what happens is, as soon as the program executes the statements that defines the primitives, that primitive is sent to the server for processing and display, and nothing is retained in the memory. And at a future point of time, if you want to redisplay the primitive after clearing the screen, if you want to display the same object at a new position, so what you need to do is you need to again resend the information through the display process. So this is the first method. So the second method is called as retained mode graphics. Here the object is defined once and put its description on the display list or the display file. Now the display list is stored in the server, and whenever you want to redisplay, it can be done by a function, a simple function call, which should be issued by the client to the server. So a copy of this is retained in the display file or the display file, which is stored at the server end. So there are certain disadvantages of the display list. First one is it requires memory. It requires memory on the server. If you see the second method, it is stored in the server. So basically it requires memory on the server. And second disadvantage is there is the overhead of creating the display list. So these are the two disadvantages. But however, the display list provide an elegant method of building models out of a set of components provided by the set of instructions. So if you are defining and representing the instructions. Next, let us see how to define and execute the display lists. How we are going to define the display list? It is similar to the geometric primitives. We have already seen the geometric primitives earlier. Here display lists are defined as, let's say there is always GL new list. Here N is capital and L is capital, which is always present at the beginning. And we also have the GL end list, which is present at the end and which contains in between. The contents between new list and end list, you will have the contents which will perform the operation. Each display list must also have a unique identifier. So we should keep in mind to have all these three parts. Let us take an example where we want to draw a box. So let me say this is the box, and let us say these are the defined coordinates, and this is the origin, and this is defined by -1, +1, -1. This one is defined as 1 and 1, and this one is -1 and -1. Now if I want to draw a box, it should be using the display list. First we should have an unique identifier. How is it defined? Is hash define, and let me call that as box, and then I'll say an identifier 1. Next we write GL new list, which is the beginning of, which indicates the indication of the beginning of the new list. Let us say which is that, it is the box. And what is the second argument? I'll write it as GL compile, where first one is the name of the list and GL underscore compile is the second argument for us. Now for this, we also need to write GL end at the end. Let us keep it as it is. Let's say I'll write it as GL end. Okay. Now inside this, I need to draw the box. First, let us write the instruction in between. The instruction is GL begin. So if I want to draw it as a filled square, then I need to write it as GL polygon. So for this, we also need to have an equivalent GL end. So I write GL end for this GL begin, which we have already seen in the previous chapters. Now let us write the instruction of the vertexes, and if I want to set any color, then we need to make use of GL color. So let's say I want to set it for red color, so I'll say next let us start with the vertex, which we will start it as GL vertex. I'll say 2f, which is -1.0 comma -1.0. Next let me take it as, sorry, this, next let me take this as the next one. We need to go it in an order, so here I'm taking it as GL vertex 2f of the second vertex, which is 1 comma -1 for us. Next again here let me just add this 1.0 and 1.0. Next, the third one, I'll write GL vertex 2f 1.0 and 1.0. That is this one. This is plus for us. So next I'll write the fourth point, GL vertex 2f of -1.0 and 1.0. Here, now we need to understand what is this GL compile. It is a flag which tells the system to send the list to the server and not to display its contents. That means it is only going to compile but not display. We have another flag called as GL compile and execute. Basically, this can be used to immediately execute the instruction while the list is being constructed. But on the other hand, with this, it is only generate the list and compile it, but not display it on the screen when it is being constructed. Now, the next question is, how exactly are we going to call this? So in order to call this, let us make use of GL call list, C capital L list, and then L capital, and then use the name of the list. So that is our box. So this calls the list box for us. Similarly, we have a stack. Stack is the data structure for us in which the items placed, whenever we place an item, the most recently placed item is popped. The items can be placed by pushing, that is the push operation, which is placed on the top of the top, and they can be removed by popping the element from the stack. Here, the element that is last placed is the first one to come. So here we also have a built-in function called as GL push attributes. So this will take one argument, that is GL all attributes. Similarly, there is one more function to push the matrix, which is the GL push matrix. Similarly, as I have for pushing, I also have instruction for popping the instruction, that is GL pop attributes. So here for popping, we need not write any arguments because the first argument on top of the stack will be popped. Similarly, it is GL pop. So this is small p here, pop matrix. So these are the functions in relation to the stack. Now let us see how to make use of the text and display list. So far we have seen how to draw the box. Now let us see or learn how to apply it on the text. The very first thing is we need to define the font using the display list for each character and then store it on the server using the display list. Now the patterns are stored in read-only memory, that is our ROM, and in the terminal, and each character is selected and displayed based on the single byte ASCII code. So how we will define the function is, let us take one user defined function called as our font. Let it take one character as an input. Say I'll say character C. So this is what we want to draw. So this can appear in our string. So let us see how to define it. It can be written as void. So I'll say our function, which is our font. It will take one argument which we want to display. Inside this, I'm going to write a switch case. So let us say switch of matching with this character. We are going to write the different character. That is, if it is case A, what is the task that we need to perform, and then break. Similarly, I may have capital A. So let us write what are the requirements and then come out of the case. So you can write for all the possible values and close the switch and close the main function. So this is how you're going to write the text. Now let us see in detail within each case what you must place. Suppose if you take an example, if you want to draw the character O or a 0. So this part, if I want to draw or define, let us take this as the origin or the center point, 0 and 0. Now if I want to apply some thickness, so I'll take this as the double part. Now to define or how to draw, what are the commands included in order to generate this, I first divide it into 3 parts. So I'll say in each quadrant. So here I have it this way. I'm doing it this way. So now we can see there, this 90° is divided into 3 parts. Each part is 30° for 30, 60 and 90. It means I'm going to write the character O or O character box, which is set as a unit square. Within a unit square, I'm going to define the O. Next, the vertices needs to be defined using 2 concentric circle. So why I'm using 2 concentric circle is to have the thickness. So I'll say here I have the circles. So let us say, and after this, what I need to do is I'm dividing it into 12 quadrilaterals in the strip that are defined. So this part here for us. So how are you actually going, or how it is generated in the form of a display list? So first I'll write, in the earlier function rFont, we had written case of A, case of capital A. Now let me write it as case of O. Inside this, first I'll write the function GL translate F. It will take two arguments tx, ty and z. Let us assume that we are moving the center position. So I'll write it as, and then I need to draw the quadrilateral strip. We have seen in the earlier classes, we have GL quad strip. So here we write it as GL begin. Then I make use of GL quad strip. So for this, we need to make use of GL end. I'll place this GL end somewhere here. And whatever I write within this case should also end with a break. Let me end it with a break here. I have 12 quadrilateral strips here, so I should have a looping statement that should iterate 12 times and finally come to the same point where we had started. For that, let us write it as for I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 12, I plus plus. So I'll say I equal to 0, I less than or equal to 12, I plus plus. Now we need to calculate the 30-degree angle here. Angle is equal to 3.14 divided by 6.0 into I. So that is 30 degree. Initially I is 0. So here at 0th position, at 1 it is 30, 60, 90. So it will go on until it generates the O for us. So this is the angle which we are going to define. Next, we need to plot these points here. That is 2 points. That is 1 point here and 1 point here. That is the outer circle and inner circle. So for that, let us write it as L vertex 2F. And these are two concentric circle. Let us take the difference as 0.1. So 1. So let me take it as 0.4 into cos of angle, which we have already computed, plus 0.5. We are moving by 0.5. So I'll write it as 0.5 here. Next one is, so I'll say 0.4 into sine of angle plus 0.5. This is the first vertex. The second vertex is GL vertex 2F. We want the outer part. So I'll say 0.5 into cos of angle plus 0.5 comma 0.5 into sine of angle plus 0.5. When you iterate it, basically when you iterate it, it is so after writing this, when you iterate it finally, this code, it is going to approximate with the 12 quadrants or the 12 quadrilaterals on a XY plane or on a two-dimensional plane. Hence, the character is defined on a plane with Z is equal to 0. So basically, if you can see here, by looking at this, you can generate the O. So you can include all these instruction in each of the switch cases. For example, it might be case A, capital A, etc. So now let us see how we are going to generate the code for 256 character set using our font function. So for this, I will write an array. So I'll write an array GL generate list, and let us say I want it for 256. So I'll store it in a variable called as base. So whichever I want, I need to display. So I need to have an index for that. Let us write a for loop for I equal to 0, I less than 256, I plus plus. So here I will call GL new list, and inside this I will start with the first one, base plus I comma GL underscore score. So if you recorrect, GL underscore compile is a flag which tells to compile and keep but not display it immediately. After this new list, let us call the function our font with the argument I. Next, let us, for this new list, let us write GL end list, and then close for this for loop. Here, how are you going to set the offset for this? So we will write it as GL list of base is nothing but the starting point base. So this is how it will be called for us. So now let us see how this display list can be used to draw a simple face. So display list, and also you have to remember here that one display list can call another display list. That means one display list can call another display list for us. That is one function calling another function, and they are powerful for building hierarchical models. As I said, powerful for building the hierarchical models that can incorporate relationship among the parts of the model. So here, if I want one list, one display list, another display list, it means one function calling the another function. Now, if I want to draw a simple smiling face, let us say something like this, which contains all this characters. So let's say I have this, and then I have a mouth like this. Now let us see how to do that. Each face basically has two identical eyes, two identical ears, the outline, the nose, and the mouth. So now let us see how to do this using the display list. Basically, if you recall, we had written hash define box for the box. Similarly, we will take it as hash define I as 1. I need an I here. So I'll say I new GL new list, and then I write the name of the display list, and then whatever code is related to I, we need to write here, and then we write GL end list. Now let us define the second part, which is hash define face. So let us take it as 2. So I'll write GL new list of face. Then we say draw the outline, the instructions for the face, and then when we need to draw the entire face, we also need to write GL translate. Why do we need this is I need to move the cursor point to an appropriate position. Now if you have a face here like this, you are at this, let's say you are at this point, then if you want to draw the eye, then you want to move to this point. To move from here to here, we need the GL translate function. So whatever arguments after translate, we will call GL call list. So basically we had written in the previous one GL call list of box. Now let us say I want to draw the eye. So I'll say call list of eye. Now I would have, now it looks like we have the outline. Inside we have one eye. So now I want one more eye here. So if you do this, I need to move here and then draw this. So I'll write it as GL translate f with whatever position you want, and then I'll ice. So we will say gl call l call list of I. So this gives us, now we are done. I mean, basically it gives us both the eyes. Now we need to draw the nose. So now we have started here. We came to the first eye, second eye. Now we have to come here to draw the nose. Now to do that, we need to write GL translate next with some arguments, and then say GL call list next instruction of nose. But in order to write this, please remember you need to define this nose using hash define nose. Similarly, next, in order to draw the mouth, we will, first have to move to that position. So I'll take it as GL translate F, and then I'll say the arguments here, and then I have GL call list of, what is this, mouth. So then if you can look here very cautiously, this mouth and nose has to be defined. So if I recollect, I have drawn the face first, then moved the position in order to draw the eye, second eye, nose, and the mouth inside the face. So it has to go in an hierarchy. It cannot, I cannot say first I'll draw the nose. If I do that, nose will go up and then it will come. Now once we are done with all this, I don't think our diagram is complete. We are also having the eyes, ears. In order to do that, first we need to move to the position of the ears. So first let us write GL translate F with some parameters, and then let us say GL call list of ear. So this gives us the first year. So after this year, we want one more year. So next we need GL translate F of the arguments, and similarly GL call list again with the year for us. So once this is done, this year is generated for us. So now I think we have finished with all the required parts. Now, if you can see here, I have written a GL new list that should have an equivalent GL end list. So I'll say GL end list, and this will take no arguments. And by writing this in detail, you would be able to display this simple smiling face. Now, what are the different fonts for a character that are available in GLUT? So let us see what are they. Here, basically it's present in the GLUT. So we know we write it as GLUT, which we also call it as the GL utility, which provides a few raster and stroke fonts. So I'll say it provides the raster and stroke points which are provided in the GLUT, that is the utility. And you can access a single character or a monotype or a evenly spaced font by using a function call. So the function call used is GLUT capital stroke S capital, that is stroke C capital character. So this will take the argument as GLUT underscore stroke underscore mono underscore Roman, which is followed by int character. This basically provides the proportionally spaced characters. So if you want to do that, then we can make use of it. Then the second one available is GLUT bitmap character. The argument that it takes are glut bitmap, it's all in character, underscore 8 underscore by 8, and then which character you want to write. This is for representing the bitmap character. This is the monospaced, and this is for the bit character. That is, for example, if I want to write A, then I have here and then move, then again some space and C. So in order to generate this kind, that is in order to have an equal position of each character, I'll say, or the next character display, we can use this as raster position X. We also have a function called as glut bit map width, which will take the argument as font and character. What it does is it returns the width of a particular character you are passing. So if I recollect, this is the first function. Basically, you can display the raster or stroke point. We have this stroke character. We have the bitmap character. So to set the position, that is, we have this function, and then to return the width of the character, we have bitmap width function. So these are the points that needs to be remembered for display list. Thank you.